We three choices of vocabulary are part of Can You Beat Me? A vocabulary test of 15 questions in a multiple choice format. Hey, welcome back. Loving seeing you again. Loving the fact that you're here to be educated, entertained, informed, and engaged, such that we can grow the conversation, be better heard, be better understood, and communicate what we really feel in our heart. And our desires can actually be fulfilled when people know what the heck we're looking to have happen in our lives. Hey, I'm going to take this test live. I'm going to do it live, right here. If I get them right, if I get them wrong, you'll know it. I'm going to do it in one cut. And at the end, we're going to go over the answers. These tests are taken directly from Reader's Digest, a monthly periodical. Not that everybody's reading periodicals, so I'm going to read it to you. And you can take the test along. At the end, if you nail it, claim your fame. Put it out there. Let everybody know, hey, I whacked this dude. If you don't, share that shame. Put it out there and say, hey, you got to check this guy out. He's educating me. But either way, make sure you share it. You hit that bell, you notify, you subscribe, and do the things that, that help grow the channel. And with that being said, we're going to move on into this particular one when every one of these editions has a theme. The theme varies from issue to issue, but it ties all the words together such that there's some logic to what we're looking at. On these, we're talking about long words that may be tricky to pronounce, but they're a great way to impress your friends or a date, whatever. This month's entries. Oops. They have at least 5 syllables. And if they prove to be incomprehensible, well, hang around to the end and I'll give you the answers. Because first we go over it, I make my guesses, you make yours, and at the end we'll see who did better. Okay, that all being said, let's get right underway and say that number 1 is an adjective called contemporary. Contemporary, is that fleeting, thoughtful, or modern? Contemporary. Fleeting, thoughtful, or modern? Well, I know contemporary to be modern. I've dealt with enough furniture to know the difference between Victorian and contemporary and a number of other styles. So I'm going to go with that and stay with C, modern. Number 2, insurrectionist is a noun. Insurrectionist. Is that a mechanic? B, a nomad, or C, a rebel? A, mechanic, B, nomad, or C, a rebel? Well, I think we've heard this one often enough these days, what with things that are happening, and I'm going to go with the insurrectionist, which would be tied to C, rebel. And beyond that, at number 3, it's extracurricular. Extracurricular is either athletically inclined, left over, or outside the usual course. Athletically inclined, B, left over, or C, outside the usual course. Extracurricular being something where you're doing extracurricular activities. I have kids still finishing up school, so I'm going with outside of the usual course, C. Number 4 is conviviality. Conviviality is a noun. Conviviality, is that sleight of hand, B, merriment, or C, complexity? A, sleight of hand, B, merriment, or C, complexity? Conniving, kind of sleight of hand. Congenial, convenient, merry, or complexity? Conviviality. I'm going to go with conviviality. Oh boy, gosh, that's a good one. I'm going to go with complexity on that one and see how well you can whack me over the head on that one. Okay, transmorphication. Transmorphication. Look at that. You say it 3-4 times and look at the spelling on it, and then you're going to screw yourself up. Is that hypnotism? B, a change of form, or C, a sea crossing? A, hypnotism, B, change in form, or C, sea crossing? Transmogrification. And I'm going to go with a change in form because if something's transing, I'm thinking it's transitory or transitioning, and therefore it will be B, change in form. Number 6, Tritondecophobia. Tritondecophobia is a noun. That means dread of magicians, hatred of cats, or fear of the number 13. You know, I've heard this word before, and I remember it striking me as, wow, that's crazy. I didn't even know there was such a word. But I can't remember which one of those it was. Dread of magicians kind of sounds... Hatred of cats. Well, I happen to like that. I'm going to go with a fear of the number 13, because it's got the triska, so try. There's my thought. Number 7, disingenuous is an adjective. Disingenuous. Adjective, is it A, out of order, B, sincere, or C, silent? A, out of order, B, sincere, or C, silent. Disingenuous. It's insincere. If you're disingenuous, you're just talking out the side of your mouth. Okay, number 8. Verisimilitude. Verisimilitude is either a noun, well, it is a noun, and it means either A, a large crowd, B, quality of seeming real, or C, dizzy spell. Verisimilitude is either A, a large crowd, B, a quality of seeming real, or C, dizzy spell. You know, I seem to be having trouble understanding what they mean by B, quality of seeming real, but yet I believe that to be the answer. I'm going with that one. Okay, we're already past the halfway point on all the way to number 9 on impenetrable as an adjective. Impenetrable is something that I've heard and used, and it's either anxious, A, B, impossible to enter, or C, affected by the moon. Impenetrable, A, anxious, B, impossible to enter, or C, affected by the moon. Impenetrable, affected by the moon. No, it's impossible to enter, B. Number 10, superannuated. Adjective. Superannuated. Is that A, prorated, B, outdated, or C, distorted? A, prorated, B, outdated, or C, distorted? Annuated, annual. That sounds like something to do with the dates to me. I'm going to go with B, outdated. Geez, now I could claim that I'm superannuated. Number 11, pharmacology, noun. Pharmacology means either A, science of drugs, B, farming technique, or C, study of insects. A, science of drugs, B, farming technique, or C, study of insects. Science of drugs, as in pharmacology, as in pharmacist. That's where I was going with on that. So I'm going to go with the science of drugs. Okay, number 12 is heterogeneous. Adjective, heterogeneous. Does that mean masculine, about clergy, or C, diverse? A, masculine, B, about clergy, or C, diverse? Genius. Yeah, I would have thought of, like bloodlines or something like that. But hetero, I'm going to go with A, masculine, and see how we fall on that. Number 13, paraphernalia, noun. Paraphernalia, noun. Yeah, you think you know that one, but does it mean A, assorted gear, B, cranium, or C, cross-stitch? Paraphernalia, it's a noun meaning either A, assorted gear, B, cranium, or C, cross-stitch. For me, I know I carry a lot of stuff around everywhere I go. It's like 20 work projects when I could probably get a half of one done no matter where I go. But I'm going to go with the Assorted Gear and move on to 14 with Phantasmagoria. 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 They don't say the A. Phantasmagoria. Phantasmagoria. Is that a dreamlike scene? B, a belief in ghosts? Or C, a mime show? A, a dreamlike scene. B, a belief in ghosts. Or C, a mime show? You know, I remember that movie, Phantasm, or something like that. It's quite scary. Wasn't that the guy with all, like, the pins sticking in his head? That was quite a while ago. That was a creepy one when I saw that one. I'm going to go with a Phantasmagoria, meaning a dreamlike scene, just because it sounds a little too, not like a mime show, that's for sure, but a little too close to belief in ghosts. Idiosyncrasy. Idiosyncrasy. It's a noun. Is that a quirk? B, perfect timing, or C, greed? Quirk, A. B, perfect timing, or C, greed? Greed may be an idiosyncrasy, but I think it's more of a quirk, so I'm going to go with A on that, with the quirk. And that's the end of the test, number 15. Hey, how'd you do? Think you beat me? We're going to find out as I turn this page here and go to the answer page. And as I go to that answer page, I'm going to remind you to do those things that we need you to do. And that's like to, make sure you hit the notification buttons, the bells, subscribe, share this out if it's working for you, and let other people know to learn and grow. Okay, moving on to the answers. Number 1, contemporary means modern. That was C. Joel prefers contemporary art over paintings by the old masters. Actually, I prefer the old masters. I like the realism. It's just amazing to me, the fine detail. You know, those ones where they would do like, Battle of the... I'm like, how did they ever paint that? What, did they have everybody hold still? Hey, everybody stop. I want to get this painting in. Number 2, insurrectionist. That's C, a rebel. The insurrectionists overthrew the corrupt government. C, insurrectionist, was number 2. Number 3, extracurricular, is C, outside of the usual course. Troy has a variety of extracurricular interests, including Russian literature and spelunking. Wow, they're sneaking another vocabulary in there about cave exploring. Okay, number 4. Conviviality is merriment. B. I think that was a chokorama by me. A village tavern is a place of conviviality where neighbors enjoy one another's company. Number 5. Transmorphication. That's a change in form. How do you explain the prince's transmorphication into a beast? Oh, like in Beauty and the Beast. Okay. Be like the only time I've ever heard that. Number 6. Tritondecophobia is a fear. The number 13, so the try was the key in that particular word. Many hotels go from floor 12 to 14 in a nod to guess with tritondecophobia. It seems to me there would be a small percentage of people who would prefer floor 13, and you might even sell out. Okay, number 8. Verisimilitude is B, a quality of seeming real. I want to roll on that. Archaeologists say the Flintstones had little historical verisimilitude. Yeah, but it was fun. Wasn't that a cartoon takeoff on the Honeymooners, right? Yeah. Okay, but I loved the Flintstones growing up. Number 9, impenetrable is B, impossible to enter. Yes, of course. The tech department is working to make our server impenetrable to hackers. And moving on to number 10, superannuated is B, outdated. So annuated in the annual, or thinking of terms of calendar, there was our key in that one. I can't teach science with the superannuated textbooks, explained Mr. Sanchez complained. He's got a good point there. Well, actually, the basic principles of science, much like history, I always wonder why they buy new history books. Did history need to be rewritten? Okay, number 11, pharmacology is A, science of drugs. Pharmacology experts haven't tested the new drug's effectiveness on children. Boy, ain't that the case. Pharmacology experts haven't tested the new drug's effectiveness on children. That was A, pharmacology. Number 12, heterogeneous is C, diverse. Home to millions of species, the Amazon rainforest is one of the Earth's most heterogeneous places. That was C. Number 13, paraphernalia. I'm just rolling through them now, aren't I? Number 13, paraphernalia is the assorted gear. That was A. We need balloons, candles, and other party paraphernalia for this birthday bash. You got to be careful when using that paraphernalia. It tends to be tied with certain party favors. Number 14, phantasmagoria. Or phantasmagoric. No, it's phantasmagoria. Is A, dreamlike scene. I am the walrus is a phantasmagoria of sound and imagery. That is a good example. Number 15, idiosyncrasy. Idiosyncrasy is a quirk. Don't be boring. Embrace your idiosyncrasies. Embrace your peculiarities. Okay, hey, did you like this? Make sure you do all the things that we told you to do, but when I go over these answers here and give you the scores here, see if you're going to beat me right now. Number 9, our vocabulary ratings have us at 9 or below. You finished in a satisfactory manner. If you were 10 to 12, you were meritorious. And if you're 13 to 15, you're indomitable. I like how they used the big words there as well. Hey, this is another edition of Can You Beat Me? Make sure you give me those words that you missed down below. I like to know if I'm the only ones who missed the ones I missed, or if other people in general tend to miss the same or missed others. But either way, like, help, share, subscribe, and we'll look forward to seeing you again here on Can You Beat Me?